Hey everybody, I'm Amber Ryan and welcome to my channel. If you have been here before, you may notice that this is a different kind of setup than what I usually have. That is because today's video is kind of different, it's kind of special. I have decided to clean up and refresh my bookshelves for 2024. This is the first video of the new year, which is very exciting. And I have been planning this video. It's been in the makes for a few months now because I realized my bookcases or my bookshelves were kind of getting a little out of control. It's a little messy. There's a little bit of everything. It's kind of become the catch-all for random stuff. And yeah, it's just my life has been too chaotic to even deal with it, and I figured it would make a good video anyways, doing a good refresh. I know they need a good deep cleaning as well, so yeah, it's going to be a big process. This is going to be a full day thing. It's already like 10 till maybe 11 o'clock because it took me so long to figure out the setup. So the reason for being so problematic is we're in an odd area where my bookshelves are. They are in a hallway. So, and they honestly barely fit in the hallway, but these were my dream bookshelves. I really wanted them, so I basically tinkered away and figured out how to achieve that. And I did last year, I believe, or the end of 2021, I believe. I finally got these shelves. I put them together all by myself, even though I'm pretty sure it was a 2 to 3 man job. I did it all by myself. I was hurting pretty bad for a few days afterwards. And so now here we are, beginning of 2024, and I'm ready to give them a good deep clean, a good refresh. We also I may have some LED lights that we're going to try out and kind of vamp it up, and some new decor. So I've been really looking forward to this video for a while, but I know it's going to be a lot of work. Like, this is going to be a big process. This is going to be a full day, so I don't know how long this video is going to turn out to be, because I have a long list of things I have to do with these shelves today. So yeah, let's get started, okay? Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean the shelves off entirely. Now, I've realized that because of the setup, I don't know how I'm going to be filming this video, really, because the shelves are so big that I can't even get them all into frame, so I may have to film this in sections. We'll see how it goes, honestly. This is all a learning curve for me, but it's just an odd placement in the house, unfortunately. So, but yes, so this should be a fun video, so I hope you guys stick around. So, but first things first, my plan is to take everything off of the shelves, every single thing, even the bottom, and I'm going to clean all of that off, take everything off, and it's going to look like chaos. It's going to be a mess because it's going to be strewn everywhere else. And then I'm going to deep clean the shelves. I'm going to dust and clean them off, make sure, you know, it's all good and it's all still stable. I did put these together myself, so I do have to double check. But really, honestly, this just gives me a clean slate, a clean canvas, if you will, to basically put everything back the way I want it to be now, and just reorganize everything and refresh and make it look a little different, because honestly, after a while you get tired of seeing it the same way as always, every day seeing the same thing over and over. So it's just time to change things up. I do have some new books to add as well to organize with that, which I will show you probably at the end of the video. We'll do like a haul, because I'm also going to be doing an unhaul this video, so we're doing a mix of both worlds here. Which brings me to the next thing I want to do while I'm doing this is I have a lot of secondhand books over here. I have 2 shelves full of secondhand books that have been given to me by family friends. 2 of them, to be exact, that are avid readers. They also do the mystery thriller stuff like I do, but they get theirs. I think one of them gets them from thrift shops and flea markets and whatnot, and the other one, I believe, buys most of hers from smaller stores like Target maybe, and I think she gets some from Walmart, which is not a bad thing because I literally bought some from Walmart yesterday. But I just haven't heard of half of these, and some of these are authors I'm just like, I don't know if I'm really gonna be interested in. So I am going to sort through them and kind of unhaul, and it won't just be these ones that I unhaul. I won't unhaul all of them, but I do want to go through all of my books and see if there's any that has been on there so long that I'm just not interested in reading anymore, and unhaul them. Yeah, and these aren't even all of my shelves, just to say. I actually took some B-roll footage. I have a set on my wall in my room, and then I have a tree bookcase. If you know what that is, I will show you a clip. So I have other shelves, and I also have a bottom shelf that I put on my TV stand that's literally full of books that I eventually want to unhaul, and I'm either going to resell them or drop them off at a secondhand bookstore. I haven't fully decided yet. So anyways, so definitely a lot to do. It's gonna be a pretty busy video, just saying. And yes, so anyways, the secondhand books have, honestly, I even have more than this in my mom's room that she has collected for me from a family friend. And so I will get those out today as well and sort through those, and finally reorganize them and figure out which ones I will actually read and which ones I'm actually interested in, because otherwise they're just taking up a bunch of space, and I know those family friends are okay if I just take the ones I unhaul to Goodwill. They're totally fine with that. So they're pretty great people. So anyways, and that's honestly just been over my head for a while now, is these two shelves, and I know you can't really see them very well. Here. It is these two shelves right here. There's just so many, and they're even like double stacked on there. There's like 2 rows. So yes. Okay, so that is one of the big things I have to tackle today, and that takes care of 2 shelves right there. It's just taking all those off, sorting through, reading the summaries, and seeing if those are ones that I will be interested in. And then, like I said, there's more books than that. There's like a full stack in my mom's room that I've yet to grab because I ran out of room out here on those shelves. So I will also have to sort through those and figure out which ones is coming with me into the new year and which ones are getting unhauled. And I think we're about to do a Goodwill trip anyways, so it kind of works out. Okay, so with that task, afterwards I also have to sort all other books as well before I put them back on the shelf. I need to figure out how I want to organize them this time around, because there for a little bit I was doing it by genre here and there. This shelf right here, you guys can see, is actually all of my like favorite books and favorite authors. And I don't know if I want to leave those the same or not, because honestly I just want to change everything up. I want it to be different. This has become my catch-all shelf, as you can tell. It's front and center, it's at the very top, it's easy to access, so it's kind of became my catch-all. There's souvenirs from New Orleans. I have my puppy piggy bank, which I do use any change I get. I also have some gifts from Jerusalem that my sister gave me. So yes, I have, and then I have some of the decor that I will hopefully hang up later on in the video back there as well. So it's kind of became my catch-all shelf. So that's one shelf for sure that I will be focusing on. I have some cabinets down here, which you will see in the B-roll of the full shelves, that don't get used. I think I currently have my hair dyeing stuff and my nail stuff down there, and honestly I don't think I'm even going to bother touching any of that today, because basically it just never gets used anyway, so I don't think I'm going to bother with that, and no one's going to see that. So I'm not really worrying about that. Now the thing about the very bottom shelves I have to explain. And I know I'm talking a lot, but that's basically going to be this video. Eventually we're going to get into the deep cleaning and everything, and you guys can enjoy that. But, yeah, so the bottom shelves, I can't really do much with those. And there's a reason, and I'm sure you can hear them in the background. There's one hiding over here somewhere. I don't know where he's at now, but he ran in there. I have a couple of kittens that we got on Halloween. They were 5 weeks old when I got them on Halloween, so they're a little bit older now, but they're definitely still in that kitten phase. So luckily they don't climb the shelves. I think because the shelves are so full, they don't bother. So hopefully when I rearrange everything, I have to keep that in mind and make sure there's not too many open spaces to where they can have a ledge to climb up on and get into. That's kind of been one of my constant fears. I literally don't let them in my bedroom that's right across the way, and I try not to let them play in the bathroom. I don't like them in the hallway at all, just because I'm so nervous about them messing with stuff. There's literally nothing else but the shelves that they can mess with here. So luckily it hasn't been a problem so far, but I have seen them climbing on one of those bottom shelves and playing around there, so that makes me a little nervous. So nothing important is going on the bottom shelves. I'm tempted to just clean off that far right one on the bottom anyways, because it's kind of just a collect-all of crafts that I want to do on the channel. And I also have a bunch of shadow boxes on the far left one for crafts as well that I want to do here on the channel, and that whole series is going to start off soon this year, hopefully, so be looking forward to that. But I don't know how much I'm going to mess with those. I do want to mess with the far right one and clean it up, just because it looks trashy. It doesn't look great. The shadow boxes are fine. They look normal. So, but I will take everything off anyways to deep clean, just to make sure there's no dust or anything. And because I do have bad allergies, so, and it's time. It's been over a year. I haven't really cleaned them since I put them together. I dusted with books on, but not with it off. So I know it just all needs a deep clean at this point. So that's going to be the main thing that I tackle, and honestly I'll just feel great having a clean slate. So yes, so secondhand books, we're going to tackle that big task. We're going to deep clean the shelves. We're taking everything off, and then of course I'm going to have to figure out what I'm doing with my catch-all shelf and sort through that, and figure out how I'm going to sort and organize all my books when I put them back on. Yeah, and then I also have a new TBR cart. Now, I did show you clips of other shelves that I have in my bedroom. The thing is the shelves on my wall, I'm really thinking about doing a makeover on my room and repainting and everything. And if I do that, I have a feeling I'm not going to put those shelves back up on my wall, because I'll have to take them down to paint. And honestly, I don't think I'll want to mess with them from there on. And they're kind of in an odd placement anyways, because I'm short. So I had to be able to reach them, and they're right above my art cart, where I put all my art supplies and craft stuff. So it's kind of just an odd placement, and I literally only use them for the wrapped books that I get from my sister, and for my TBR each month I put them there, so it's easy to access and whatnot. And I have been seeing here on BookTube and even on TikTok and Instagram that people have been using those carts that I call art carts. I have like 3 of them. But I have been seeing where people have been using that to keep track of their TBR. They call it a TBR cart. And so I decided I would try that out. And also I'm hoping it will help keep me more organized in a way. So I do already have that cart put together. I was going to film that, but I figured it's going to be a long enough video anyways. I just hit my phone on the wall. Putting that down. Okay, so I did go ahead and put that cart together beforehand and off camera. Luckily it's been put together for a few days now, so that's something I didn't have to worry about today. But yeah, so next time I play TBR Clue, I think I will use the TBR cart, and we'll start using that this year. But I don't think that's going to affect anything today until I get stuff figured out. And of course, we're also going to use some new decorations. I have been gifted some new stuff. I have some LED lights that I want to try out. I have a love-hate relationship with LED lights, because I used to have some in my room, and they worked for a little bit and then they gave out, which I have to use battery operated because I don't have very many outlets, and my shelves are not near any outlets as well, so we're using battery operated LED lights. So we're going to test them out and see how well that works. Another thing, okay, so I have 2 more things and then we can move on and I'll recap for you guys. Another thing is I have my own stamp. I don't know if you guys can really see it, but I have my own book stamp where if I love a book, Let me see if I can find one. Let's see. I know the Lost Apothecary has that one. Yeah. So I have a stamp, and if I decide that I really love a book and I'm for sure going to keep it on my shelves for like a very long time, if I plan on keeping it forever like this one, then I stamp it. And that way if I lend it out to my sister or something, they know, hey, I need to return that to her, it belongs to her. And that way it's also a good way of keeping track of my favorite books and everything. So I'm just gonna put that there since we're resorting. So I also need to make sure all of the ones I'm keeping, and that I need to basically update and make sure I've kept track of all that, because I feel like I haven't stamped any books in many months. I don't think I've been really reading anything that I've really enjoyed lately either, so that may be why. But I do want to make sure and just check all of them and make sure that the ones and only ones that I have read and enjoyed get the stamp. If I haven't read them yet, they don't get the stamp because I don't know if I like them yet or not. So that's just how I keep track of everything. And here comes one of the heathens now. What are you doing? Okay. Here's one of them now. This is Pie. So this is one of the reasons why those bottom shelves just don't get much. He's in a playful mood right now. He's usually pretty cuddly. And his brother looks almost exactly like him, only has white on his nose. And his name is Pumpkin. So I'm sure you'll see him later on. I think I've already got him in the B-roll of the shelves. That works. I literally put my suitcase to block him from messing around. I have literally my bedroom door, bathroom doors open for the lights and everything. It's a mess. Okay. And the last thing I have to do today, it's a long list. I have to count all of the books that I'm keeping and that I'm putting back on my shelves. I have to count and find out how many books I'm starting the year off with. In my reading journal, I've added an extra thing to where I can keep track of how many books I have at the beginning of the year and how many I end the year with. And I thought that'd be a fun little thing, and it won't be too difficult to do once I've resorted the shelves and cleaned them up and organized them. So that has to be at the very end of the video, but it'll be interesting to find out. We are also going to be doing the haul and unhaul at the end of the video, so be looking forward to all of that. Okay, so just to recap, quick list recap. First things first is I have to take everything off the shelves and deep clean them. I have to dust and wipe them down, make sure they're good to go. Then I have to go through and sort all of my secondhand books, not even just these ones. I have more in my mom's room. I have to sort through the ones that I think I'm actually interested in and may actually read, and those I keep, others I unhaul. And they'll probably end up going to my local Goodwill. Yeah, so I also have to organize and sort all of my books and figure out how I want them to go back on the shelves. So basically that'll be fun to figure out. Basically I just want to change everything up and just refresh it, so that'll be a fun task. Yeah, and then I believe we will also make sure all of the books that I'm keeping and that I've read and that I loved have their stamp. We also are going to be counting all the books at the end to figure out how many books I'm starting the year off with. And yes, is that about it? Oh, we're also going to decorate. We're going to add a few new decorations to kind of refresh, change things up. So yeah, hopefully that's it. It's been a long intro. I'm sorry. This is a mess, but there's just so much to do in this video. So without further ado, let's finally get into it. It's going to be chaos, so let's do it.
I get this feeling, I wanna run away, hit the highway and never look back. I wanna watch you fade away in the rearview mirror. Won't get lost cause I've been really off track. Lately been running, but I've not been going anywhere. I've been hiding without being found. I've been loving, but not been feeling anything. Been standing still, the world keeps spinning around. But when I see you, you make me feel like I'm alive. When I see you, I know I'll be I get this feeling, I wanna run away. Hit the highway and never look back. I wanna watch it fade away in the rearview mirror. Won't get lost cause I've been really off track. Lately been running, but I've not been going anywhere. I've been hiding without being found. I've been loving, but not been feeling anything. Been standing still, the world keeps spinning around. When I see you, you make me feel like I'm alive. When I see you, I know I'll be fine. You are my lifeline.
Okay, we're at a slightly different angle. Okay, so the shelves are all cleaned off except for the bottom left where all the shadow boxes are that I said that are for future crafts. I decided just not to even touch those. They're kind of heavy, so I kind of just let them be. I'm going to dust around them and on top of them and make sure it's a good, but I'm not going to take them off the shelf. It's just too much work at this point. But I really don't trust my books around these cats much longer, so I'm going to speed through cleaning up these bookshelves. Sorry, this setup is just so weird. So yeah, so I have a Swiffer duster. I don't know how well they actually work, but I'm going to go around and dust all of them off first. And then I'm going to go through with a wet microfiber cloth. I didn't have any furniture spray like I thought we did. And if we do, I don't have time to go find it. So I already searched for it and couldn't find it, so I don't want to waste any more time. And then I'm going to go through with some paper towels. The joy of cats, can't ever have anything nice. And dry off before I put the books back on, make sure it's all good and safe to put the books back on. So that's going to be my process for this. Nothing too serious. I'm sure there's a better method to this, but this is the best I can do for now. And like I said, this is probably pumpkin. Probably just going to be an annual thing because it's so much work to take all of these books and everything off of the shelves because they are big shelves. But yeah, so we're going to do that real quick and then get to organizing and putting the books back on the way I want them to be. As you can tell, well actually not from this angle, I have already started putting some of the decorations up. I think all I have left of that is pumpkin, quit. Anyway, so I started putting up some of the decorations. We still have the LED lights to put up, so don't worry, we will still get some decorating on camera. That'll be an interesting experience, and I kind of wonder if I should actually do that before I put the books on. Nah, it'll be fine. We can work around them. Anyway, so I'm going to get to cleaning these off. We're going to get a little bit of that on camera, but honestly, I've been fighting these cats all day, and I'm getting really frustrated. So, but let's quickly do that, and let's do it. They're nice and clean. but now I'm just rearranging and refreshing, and basically I'm moving it all to see how much space I have left to grow into, basically. So we shall see. But this is fun, actually. I'm really enjoying this process. It's a lot. Don't get me wrong. It's a lot. Especially with 2 kittens that I'm fighting with constantly. My dog is great. She's just laying there. She's just watching me. But the cats, they're just curious little boogers. They're humans. But anyways, right now they're actually doing a lot more. But so right now too, so I'm a little nervous. So that's to get them home, safe and sound as soon as possible. And also, I will be like cleaning and dusting off any books that need to be, just so you guys know, I'm not putting dirty books on the back of the shelves. That is the extra step that I did not mention in my rambling intro in this video. Because honestly, I didn't think about it, but as I was taking books off and dust was flying, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna clean those off too. So then I've been sitting there for a while. But alright, so time to fun stuff. Let's do it. Okay, so as you can see, I've kind of got a stack of books already back here. So I've kind of been trying to do sticky notes, trying to figure out where I want to put books because I want it to be different than it was before. I did go ahead and decide I do want to use the bottom shelf that I'm worried about the cats doing. I think what I'm going to do is just put all my Nancy Drew books down there because they're old enough that if they do mess with them, it's not too big of a deal. And those are honestly $5 books to replace. Not that difficult, and plus those books aren't too near and dear to my heart right now. Honestly, I'm a little bitter towards them right now. So honestly, I think it'll be fine if they're on that bottom shelf. If the cats mess with them, then I know, you know, I'm kind of testing the cats in a way to see what they'll do. Because I think I discovered Pumpkin likes to hide under that bottom shelf. And he likes to hide in this closet right here. So I don't know why he chose those spots. His brother doesn't really come back here unless he wants to shred some toilet paper or something. So I usually keep the bathroom door locked or closed. So, but we'll test them out and see if they start messing with the books. You know, at least it's not some that I'll like be super upset about to lose. But yeah, and it also puts the Nancy Drews in a different location than where they were before. They were in this middle section on the bottom, and they've been there since I got these shelves. So that's the main reason I just want to relocate those books. Especially because, like I said, they're not really my favorites right now. So I kind of want to put them in a location where I don't have to look at them every time I come out into the hallway. At least if they're on the bottom shelf, I don't have to like directly focus on them. So, and that also like leaves this shelf open for other possibilities. So I haven't really figured out what's going on with these center shelves yet, but previously I had like a Mod Podge of like romance, fantasy, fiction, all of that on this shelf. And so I think I want to separate out the genres a little bit better this time around. Because of TBR Clue, it's just easier to know where all my genres are at and already have them divided up, so I know what my options are. Because, you know, it's been difficult lately with TBR Clue. One, because I just haven't really been enjoying reading lately because my life has just been so chaotic. But also, you know, it's just hard to figure out which ones are which. Usually I have to pull out my phone and Google the book and figure out which genres or subgenres these books go into. So if I go ahead and do all the work now, it'll be easier further down the road when the chance pops up on TBR Clue and I can be like, oh, I can actually do that book instead of having to look it up every time. So I think that'll help me out a little bit, and it'll help me be a little bit more organized. which is the main goal of this entire process, is to just make my year a little easier when it comes to reading, so I can hopefully start enjoying it more again, and not pressuring myself to just read so much. So yeah, so that is my main goal right now while organizing these. So I think I have decided, because this used to be my romance fantasy, this is just basically my catch-all for several genres. And I didn't really, you know, I didn't look up the genres for all of these, so that's why I just kind of like, oh, I feel like this may be a romance. It may not be, but I'm gonna just put it over here. So instead of them being on this shelf, I kind of felt like I wanted to switch sides a little bit. So I think romance is going to be down here. And then I think maybe fantasy will either be on this one, or yeah, I don't know. I just want to change it up. I don't want it to look the same, and I don't want everything to be in the same place it was. Because previously on this side, like I said, I had the catch-all of many genres here, and then these two shelves were all the secondhand books, which I'm about to sort through, and I have a feeling I'm going to unhaul a lot of the secondhand books. So I'm at least going to narrow it down to one shelf for the secondhand books. And I was tempted to go ahead and try to integrate the secondhand books into their genres with my other books, but I don't know. I think it'll be interesting just to keep them in their own little subgenre, keep them to their own little shelf. So if I have a challenge that I just, like if I decide to do secondhand September again or something, or if I try to challenge myself to read a secondhand book or whatever, at least I know where they're all at. So that's kind of my thinking on that anyways. So I think my secondhands are actually going to be on the shelf above the Nancy Drews. So you can kind of see my ranking on my love of those ones. So, but yeah, so those two shelves I've at least kind of figured out. The top three on this side, I have no idea. I just know I do not want to put romance or fantasy back on this one. I think I'm gonna put like fiction, adventure, because I do have the genre adventure on my TBR Clue Game board. So I think I'm gonna put books that'll go to that genre here with my fiction, and there'll probably be a couple other subgenres in there as well, because that shelf is kind of the catch-all for basically the odd ones, I guess, in my collection. So so I think that's what that shelf is going to be. It's just going to continue to be a multiple genre shelf, basically the odd ones of what I have, so that I don't have many of, is going to be where that shelf is. Or it may even be this shelf down here, just to change it up. But I don't know. I just knew I didn't want my romance and fantasy over here again. So I think I'm going to change it up and put them on this one. And then I do want to have my mystery, horror / thriller. I thought about doing them over here as well. I think, depending... I kind of, with those ones, because I have so much of them, I had divided them up by ones I had already read, and then the ones I hadn't read. So I think I'm going to continue to do that. So there will be at least 2 to 3 shelves for those genres, because that's just what I have the most of, and the ones I enjoy the most. So I usually put them in like the prime spots. This shelf for some reason is like prime spot for me, and the middle shelves, just because it's right outside my door and I see it all the time when I go to the bathroom over here. I see it all the time when I leave my room to go to work, or you know, when I leave the house. So I walk by it all the time. For some reason this shelf is kind of the oddball. I just don't tend to stop and look at it as much. But maybe that'll change, you never know. That's kind of the whole purpose of this refresh, is just figuring out how to make this flow better and look better to me, because it was just kind of collecting everything. So anyways, that's my thought process right now. I don't know if any of this is going to make it in the video, but that's where I'm beginning. So for now, I think I'm gonna go ahead and start putting, I put romance and fantasy together on my sticky note, but those are actually going to be, I believe, 2 separate genres, because they have their own separate rooms on my TBR clue board. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and split those up this time, because I actually have more romance than what I used to have when I first put the shelves together. So I think this will strictly be romance, and then maybe fantasy down there. But I don't know. I actually may put fantasy on this one. We'll just see. That way romance and fantasy are at level with each other. I think that actually will work pretty well. So we'll do that. Alright, so we are back at another odd angle. For some reason it just keeps changing. I don't know. So, finally, we are through most of the books. We have, yeah, okay. So, let's go through our checklist. First, we took everything off the shelves, and then I deep cleaned them. They are now dust and dirt free. They're nice and clean, look practically brand new shelves, which is awesome. And then I sorted and organized all of my books except for the secondhand books. They are next. Okay, Jules, can you go lay down? Thank you. Okay, so yeah, now all the books are sorted and organized. So let me give you a little bit of a tour. I don't know how much you guys can see, but up at the very top, which you guys can't really see, is my horror slash thriller shelf, which actually kind of, I ended up having to do like an overflow shelf down here, which you guys can kind of see. So this part is my overflow of mystery, and then this is my overflow of horror slash thriller, which to me is practically the same genre. I guess I could take my glasses off, huh? But to me that's practically the same genre, so I constantly just mix the two together. So yeah, so that's my overflow of horror and thriller and overflow of mystery. This is my mystery shelf. I guess I can take all the sticky notes off now. This is my mystery shelf. That's horror and thriller. Here are some of my favorite standalone books. Yes, so these are some of my favorite standalone books. Down here are my favorite like series, and also some are grouped together by author. Like if I have several that are my favorites from one author, then I paired them together on this shelf as well. I actually have 2 Sarah Penners up here, but for some reason I didn't put them together down there. Because it's kind of a different genre than those. Those are mostly horror slash mystery right there. And then these are kind of a mixture of all the other genres. But they're mostly just there because there's the standalones. They don't come from a series. So yeah. Up here is kind of, you can't really see it. Let me see. There we go. Now you guys can see. Up here is kind of my oddball books that are kind of just interesting, and I don't usually I haven't used this shelf for strictly books before. It's kind of been my catch-all, so it's kind of nice to use it properly. So I have T-Dragon Society, I have my Tales from the Crypt comic archive book back there, and then I have all of my poetry books, I have some puzzle books, and then I have a short story and book, and these are my books from New Orleans. They're kind of oddball. They're kind of like spell book, magic book type deals. So yeah. And as you can see, I've mostly went through and already decorated a little bit. I have not done the LED lights yet. I don't know how that's gonna go, but eventually I will get around to doing that. It may not even happen today now. It's just, I've been working on this all day, and it's like, it's 2:30 I believe, last I checked. I had a quick lunch at 2, and now I'm back at it, so. But yes, and then down here is, like I said, all my favorite horror / mystery series, and from my favorite authors. And then, yep, that's Julesy, that's my dog. Over here on the top shelf is books that I've already read, and they're kind of a mixture of all genres, but I believe most of them are actually horror, mystery, thriller, just because that's the most common genres with me. But mostly all those are up there because they have already been read and I enjoyed them, but I didn't want to, I was running, you know, filling up all of the shelves, so basically that was my overflow as well. But I figured all the books I had already read can be on their own shelf. So down here is basically all of my fiction and a mix of others. I'm just calling it my fiction shelf because it's kind of a collection of all these different genres, or subgenres I should say, but that's basically my fiction shelf. And then this one is my fantasy shelf, which basically fantasy has a lot of romance in it, so that's why it was kind of difficult before for me to split romance and fantasy up. But I did decide to go ahead and do that. So that is my fantasy shelf. As you can tell, it's actually overflowing, which is crazy because before the past year I didn't really have much fantasy at all. I didn't have much romance at all. It was all horror and mystery and thriller. So it's kind of crazy that my fantasy shelf is practically overflowing. That one down there is going to be for the secondhand books. I'm about to go through those. And then the very bottom shelf down there that you guys can't really see is my Nancy Drew books. Yeah, over here is, I believe I already said, horror / thriller, mystery, and my romance. And then I have the overflow shelf of mystery and horror and thriller. So there's really no reason these are divided up. It was just a random thing. I will have more books going on the shelf soon anyways. I'm about to show you guys a haul, so at the end of the video, and all those books will be added to the shelf right after, so that gap will not be there for very long. I can assure you of that. But my horror, for sure, my horror and thriller shelf is overflowing, and I kind of expected that, and I should have went ahead and done these two shelves for horror and thriller, but I wanted mystery to have its own shelf as well. So and then I should have went ahead and done the overflow shelf here, but I kind of wanted romance to be level with fantasy across the shelves. And honestly, I just like it like this, and the overflow shelf is further down, so I like it. It definitely looks a lot better than it did. I'm very happy with this so far. So finally, I'm going to start bringing in, I've got a clip of it, all of the secondhand books. I finally got all the ones out of my mom's room as well. So all of my secondhand book collection that has been gathering for practically the past 1.5 to 2 years, I am finally going to sort through and figure out which ones I'm actually interested in and which ones I'm going to unhaul, and then they will be added to the shelf. So this should be interesting. And unfortunately, my battery died when I was not even halfway through organizing all of the books. So, but I just put a new battery in, so you guys hopefully will get some footage of me sorting through the secondhand books. So it's gonna be a long video anyways, no matter what I do. So but this is going to be a big task, so let's get started so I'm not at it all day. Okay, so I finally just finished sorting through all the secondhand books that I have in this house, and it's finally narrowed down to one overflowing shelf. So, I mean, it was two overflowing shelves, and then I had more in my mom's room, so I'm pretty proud that I've actually been able to narrow it down to that. And I'm actually surprised there was that many that I wanted to keep. Because I am very particular and kind of picky about what I want to read, and sometimes the mass market paperbacks, you know, those very common authors that seem to write like a bunch of books and just kind of throw them out pretty quickly, like Nora Roberts, you know, it's just like, not usually into that stuff. But all of the books that I have narrowed down to this one overflowing shelf, it actually sounded pretty interesting, and so we shall see. Some of them, like over half of them, are actually practically brand new books, because like I said, one family friend, I'm having to like crouch because I'm showing the shelf. One family friend actually like buys them brand new from like Walmart and Target and reads them, and then once she's done with them, she's not much of a rereader. So as soon as she's done with them, she gives them to my mom to give to me. So most of them are actually brand new books. There were a few that I did keep from, I think she gets them from thrift stores and flea markets. I did keep a few of those as well. But I have pretty much went through, I think I unhauled about 75% of the secondhand books, just because I really don't have the room for them, and let's be honest, I don't have the time to read all of those ones, and I probably wouldn't be interested in reading them anyways. So, but at least I still have plenty of secondhand books that I can enjoy, and at least I know what's left on my shelf I'm actually interested in reading, so I don't have to dig for one that I'm interested in if it ever comes where I have a secondhand book challenge of sorts. So I made it a lot easier on myself just doing that. So, but yeah, I'm actually surprised there was that many that I wanted to hold on to. So, I'm pretty impressed. Alright, so we are going back to my normal setup for the rest of the video. Hallelujah. We are going to be doing a book haul here at the end of the video, and then I will come back out and count all of the books and give you guys a total of how many books I'm starting the year off with. And off camera I probably will check and make sure all of the ones I've read and I like have been stamped. And other than that, we're pretty much done. So I'm pretty happy. I do have a few little decoration details to add to it, but other than that, we are pretty much done. And I will give you guys an overview once the haul is over and everything. I'll give you a full view of the shelves now after they've been cleaned and refreshed. So, alright, let's go back to our normal setup. Alright, so we are finally back in the usual setup. Man, it feels good to be back here. Woo, that was so stressful just working with that different setup. So, I was kind of hoping to use that as a normal backdrop for when I was talking about my books and everything, but that was way too stressful, so don't be planning on that anytime soon. Oh my gosh, that was a lot of work. Wow. So I accomplished a lot today. It is now 4:16 in the afternoon. I started at, I believe we said 10:30 because it took a while to set up. So, wow. I've been literally working on it all day. But I'm super happy with how it all turned out. The shelves look great. They look nice and clean and more organized. And I can finally find the books I need when I play TBR Clue without having to dig around. So, and honestly it was kind of fun to just go through all of my books. And when I came across a book I had already read, it kind of reminded me of when I read it and about that book and how I felt reading it, and it just brought back some good memories. So it was a lot of fun, honestly, but it was a lot of work. So that's definitely an annual thing, but I'm really glad I got to do it for the start of 2024, and I hope you guys have enjoyed this chaotic long video. It's definitely a different kind of format than what I usually do, but I do want to start doing some different stuff here on the channel, so be looking forward to some new stuff. I am going to continue my TBR Clue game series, so hopefully the first one of the year will be coming out soon. It's just been too busy to play, and I had this today, so but hopefully I will film that soon and have it up and get to reading again. So alright, so now we're into that part of the video where I finally get to do my big book haul, the first one of the year. Technically I did this haul, I did two different hauls separately, and I kind of did them at the end of 2023, literally the weekend before Christmas. I had actually talked to my sister into taking me to Springfield to Barnes & Noble because we hadn't been in many months, so I actually convinced her to take me to Barnes & Noble, and I believe I got like 10 books, and luckily I had my reusable bag that I take for book shopping. So yeah, I think I ended up with like 10 books that haul, and then I actually ordered, came home that night and ordered like 3 different ones off Amazon, and then finally last night, which was New Year's Eve, I went to Walmart, which I don't ever go to Walmart, so this was like the first time in months I had been into our Walmart, and on a Sunday. So it was crazy, but I ended up buying a few more books there, so I got quite the collection to add to my shelves. So I thought I would do a quick little haul for you guys, and then I will add them to the shelves, and I will do some B-roll and show you guys what the shelves look like now that they're all clean and done and organized, and hallelujah. So far all I have left is I have some LED lights I want to put on the shelves somehow. I'm going to be using command strips to do that because I do not want to damage my shelves, and that way if the lights quit working, because they are battery operated and I have had some mixed reviews about those, and honestly I have a love-hate relationship with them. So if they get out and I have to switch out some LED lights, or if I decide to just take them off altogether, it'll be a no mess, no hassle kind of deal, and it won't damage the shelves at all. So that is how I will be doing that. So hopefully in the B-roll I will have those already on. I'll probably be doing that off camera. But maybe not, we don't know. But I've definitely about ran out of time today, so I'm going to do this haul and finally go get cleaned up myself and have some supper, because I had a very quick short lunch that was not much substance. So alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and start quick and easy with the 3 books I got off of Amazon that I mentioned. Now these were definitely Hallmark inspired, because I have recently, for Christmas, I decided to go ahead and splurge and get Hallmark movies, and now only $6 a month, which is crazy to me. But I really love mystery movies as well, and I didn't realize they also had their mysteries there. So I really got it for the Christmas movies and everything, and then found out they had all their mysteries and stuff on there too. So I have been binge watching all of that, and that is what led to these purchases. So the first one that I say was Hallmark inspired is A High-End Finish by Kate Carlisle, which is a fixer-upper mystery. Now there were 3 fixer-upper mysteries on Hallmark that are on the streaming service, and I loved all 3 of them. They had Jewel, the singer, as the main girl, and it was pretty sweet. I wish there was more of them. I actually really enjoyed those, so I thought it'd be interesting just to get the book and see. There's supposed to be, I think, like 10 books in the series, so I'm actually really hoping I like it, because it'd kind of be a breath of fresh air compared to what I usually read. These would be, you know, just the simple, cozy, happy ending, you know, what you get out of Hallmark. So it's just a breath of fresh air, so I'm kind of hoping that's what this ends up being. I wanted to get the first of the Aurora Tea Garden mystery books as well, and I actually forgot to order that. And these 2 books popped up around that time when I was searching for those, and this one is Another Man's Treasure by S.W. Hubbard. It kind of looks like a self-published book. And it actually, yeah, it sounds like a really good, interesting mystery. So I thought it'd be a different, you know, sometimes I find these random finds on Amazon or Pinterest, and I try my hand at them, and so far I've actually really lucked out doing that. So I just kind of love to sleuth around and find some odd-end books, and this was one of them. And then I also got one which I thought may be like a Hallmark inspired one, but I guess it's not actually a show, but The Route That Takes You Home by Melanie Lagsult. I know I'm pronouncing that last name wrong. Mailbox Mysteries. This is Route 1. I want to say it's actually just a trilogy, but I know it is a series of some sort, so I thought it sounded different and, you know, very Hallmarky. So like I said, I got these 3 kind of to be like breaths of fresh air. They're different from what I usually read, and like I said, I'm just really into mysteries, and so I don't really have many cozy mysteries, just simple, you know, chilled out mysteries. So I thought these 3 would be a good addition to my collection. So those 3 were Amazon finds. They were the only 3 I've got from Amazon out of this haul, so different. Okay, so I think I'm gonna start with the reusable bag. I'm sure you guys have seen this before on one of my other hauls. So these are the books I got the weekend before Christmas when I went to Barnes & Noble. So I actually got a few books that I've been wanting to get for a while, and I am very excited about them. And the first one, it's actually right on top, and I've been dying to get this for a while. Gab Smolders here on YouTube has recommended this book. Episode 13 by Craig DeLuey. Supposed to be really good. I think it's like a horror book, and I just love the idea of it. Yeah, it's supposed to be like about a ghost hunting reality TV show in a haunted location, so I'm super excited. That sounds right up my alley, and ever since I had seen it before, and then Gab Smolders recommended it, and I was like, okay, it has to be good. So I'm super excited to finally get my hands on it. So yeah, I've been dying to get this one for a while, but it was so expensive, and I actually couldn't find it in my nearby Books A Million, so I guess finally I found it in Barnes & Noble that day, and I was like, okay, it's fate, I have to finally get it. And I believe it was also hardcover back then as well, and that's why it was so expensive. But another one that had popped up that I was wanting to get, All Our Hidden Gifts by Caroline O'Donoghue. Last names, I don't know if I said that correctly or not, I'm sorry, but it sounded really interesting. I believe it's like witchy. It also mentions tarot. You may have seen it when I was cleaning my shelves. I have a tarot card deck. I actually really enjoy that stuff. It's a lot of fun, and I've been learning that kind of thing, so it's really interesting, and so I think this will be a really fun read for me. So I'm very excited for that one. What's another one? Aha! So this is another one I've been meaning to get for a while. You may have seen I have all the rest of the series on my shelves. Finally, I have gotten the latest. The Last Devil to Die by Richard Osman. This is a Thursday Murder Club's book. This is the latest of the series. I believe this is the 4th one. I have the other 3, and I have really enjoyed reading these ones. I'm actually caught up on this series except for this one. So I've been watching them as they come out, which is actually pretty great. That's rarely happened to me. But this is a fun series about some elderly people that live in like a retirement community, and then they solve these actual mysteries, like these murder mysteries that happen, and it's always super fun and interesting and funny, and so I highly recommend the series. I don't know what this one is about in particular, but they're always interesting and different, and I never know what to expect, but they're a lot of fun. So I'm very excited I finally got my hands on that one. Okay, so we're gonna start from the end here. This is another one that sounded interesting. Anna Dressed in Blood by Kandar Blake. It also has an all-new bonus novella in it, apparently. It's supposed to be kind of a haunted romance, so it's a kind of ghost story as well. It has a paranormal aspect to it, so it sounds really interesting. I had never really heard of it before, but after I had bought it, it has since popped up on my Pinterest, which I found very funny. I think it even popped up on my Goodreads once, which was wild to me. So but now I have it in my possession. I had bought it before all that happened, so thought it was pretty funny. But I'm really excited to read this one because, like I said, the haunting stuff is like right up my alley. I really enjoy that stuff and the paranormal stuff. Okay, so the next two kind of go hand in hand together. They're by the same author, and I had never heard of these ones. I had never heard of the author before, but I found them, and she had like a whole, I think they're all standalones, but she had several of them. Like the cover art and everything was very similar to each other, and they just all looked very interesting. So I picked out a couple to try out. One is The Nothing Man, and these are by Catherine Ryan Howard. One is The Nothing Man, and one is Rewind. So, I don't know much about them. I'm going into these ones blind, other than the blurbs that I read in store. But they sounded really interesting, and I believe they are horror. So yeah, right up my alley again, and they sounded like really interesting and different. So I'm really hoping I enjoyed this author, because she also has several others similar to these that I think would be right up my alley. So I just got a couple to try out. It was also, I believe, buy one get one 50% off for those ones at the time. But yeah, so I'm hoping I really enjoy these ones, because it would be really nice to have another author that I really enjoy to read, so I know what to look out for, you know. another collection to have. Oh, so this one is different. This one I had heard of before I had went in, and I didn't realize it was a thing, but I thought it'd be fun. I got Myrtle Volume 1, which is basically a puzzle book. You basically solve all these puzzles. I believe you're solving murders and you're finding clues and everything. I thought that sounded very interesting, so I thought I would try it out. So yeah, so definitely not an actual like reading book, but I thought it would be fun. If you guys want to see a video on me trying to do this, let me know down in the comments below, because it seems really interesting. I don't really know anything about it, going into it totally blind as well, but I thought it'd be, you know, kind of different. And I believe there's like 3 different volumes out right now, so they had it up front by the cash register. Okay, so this one's been floating around for a while. I think I've actually saved it on my Pinterest for a while. Kill Creek by Scott Thomas. And I think I've actually nearly bought it a couple of times. This is another like haunting mystery one, and I have nearly bought it once at least, I know for sure. But it's in supposed to be one of the most notorious haunted houses. Some of the most famous horror authors come together into this one of the most notorious haunted houses, and it's supposed to be like a big thing for on Halloween night. So it's the way it's set up, the way it sounds super awesome. So I'm like really excited to see how spooky it is. Like, oh, I'm so ready to read these. I'm so excited. I always love getting new books just to re-inspire me to read. Okay, just 2 more from this trip. Oh yes, so this is the other one that I have been dying to get my hands on. This one is by Simone St. James. It's The Haunting of Maddie Clare. Now, I have talked about Simone St. James many times before. She is one of my favorite authors. Wow. 3 books from her that I have read that are my favorites. Every one I've read from her are my favorite, but the 3 I've read is, one in particular is The Sundown Motel. It is in like my top 5 favorite books. That is one book I could reread so many times and still not get bored with it. Absolutely loved it. There was also The Broken Girls and the Book of Cold Cases. Really enjoyed those. So I'm very excited for this one. I believe it's one of her older ones that came out before those. Usually she does dual timelines in hers, but it looks like this one may be different. But we shall see. I'm super excited. This one's supposed to be kind of a ghost story as well, so it should be super right up my alley. Super fun. I'm trying to find other words to say, but I feel like I'm repeating myself. And lastly from this one is another poetry book by Courtney Peppernell. I have been on a kick of Courtney Peppernell's poetry lately. I have really enjoyed them. I have read, let me see, I think there's a list here. Yes, so I've read the first Pillow Thoughts. I own the second one, but haven't read it yet. I have also read Watering the Soul, The Way Back Home. And I guess that's it. Is that all? I think I own Pillow Thoughts 2 and 3. I didn't realize she had so many others. Wow. But this one is Time Will Tell. I think this is like a continuation of the Watering the Soul series of them. But yeah, I really enjoy her poetry. I love her writing, and I can really relate to her stuff. So it's really, I really enjoy it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this. What I do with this, with poetry, is I kind of read a few every night before bed while I'm unwinding, so I can kind of just really enjoy it and take it in a chunk at a time and just really process it. And you know, instead of reading it all in one sitting, it makes it more enjoyable. and I love doing that with her stuff, so very excited for that. Alright, so now we're to the New Year's Eve portion of this haul. Yes, so I ended up with some interesting books that I would never normally grab or read, but I was kind of just in the mood to get some new stuff and try something new and maybe get out of my comfort zone a little. So, and most of these I have never heard of before. This one is supposed to be an immersive gothic mystery. You Must Remember This by Kat Rosenfield. So I had never heard of that author or of this book before, but it sounded super, you know, it's different and interesting, so I was really just looking for something different than what I usually read, so I'm interested to see where that one goes. I also got an interesting, like, cozy romance, Night Shift by Annie Crown. And then I got another Lauren Asher book. I think this is her newest series. It's another romance, billionaires, kind of like Dreamland billionaires, only lakefront billionaires. Love Redesigned. It's the first one of that series. So I haven't even read the Dreamland Billionaires ones yet. I have the whole series and have yet to read them. So this year I'm going to tackle all of my Lauren Asher books. But I just got this one because I felt like I had to at that point. Now my grandma is really into these books, and they were only like $5 each, and this is definitely a Walmart brand. They're called Love Inspired Suspense books, an inspirational romance. So I have never tried these books out, but I figured I would try this one. It's called Tracking Stolen Treasures by Lisa Phillips, and it's a canine search and rescue book. It was just a random thing, and I thought I would give it a try, and then I would probably lend it to her to read as well so she can enjoy it. But it just sounded interesting, and it's also because I've been watching all the Hallmark stuff as well. You know, it just felt kind of Hallmarky, if you know what I mean. So that's, you know, like I've said, I'm trying different stuff out. So I decided to do this one. Like I said, it was only $5, so if I don't like it, it's not like I'm losing out a bunch of money. I just thought it would be interesting. And this is one I have been dying to get since it came out, and I finally just caved and bought it because this is like the 100th time I've came across it. Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I'm sure I'm saying his last name wrong. But yeah, I finally got my hands on this one. This one's been on my wish list since beginning of last year at least, because it was in the wish list at the beginning of my reading journal for the longest time last year. So finally I have my hands on it, and I'm really looking forward to reading this one. That's just one that just kept coming about. Okay, now this one is more of a risque read. This one has popped up on my Pinterest and I believe even TikTok. This one is called Mercy by Sarah Kate. And this may have actually popped up in Barnes & Noble, and I almost bought it then as well. But then it popped up in Walmart, and I was like, okay, I'm getting it. So it's definitely going to be a steamy read. But I thought it'd be, you know, different, out of my comfort zone, and it'd be really fun. Honestly, I don't mind reading steamy reads. I just never get the chance to read them. Because let's face it, most of the time when I'm reading, it is at work. So, but yeah, it'll be fun to read, and I'm actually really excited to get more into like romance stuff this year maybe, because I do have a good selection going that I could choose from. This is another one that's been making its rounds for a while. Lore Olympus by Rachel Smith. This is volume 1, so I believe this is, yes, it is a graphic novel. That's another thing I kind of want to start getting into, is graphic novels. They really interest me, and I love looking at all the artwork and this seems so pretty, so I may actually just be in it for the artwork. I don't know anything about the story, but I was like, it looks so pretty, and I've kind of always wanted to get it, but it's been so expensive. So I finally just caved, and I think it was only like $14 at Walmart, because now they have like 3 or 4 other ones. But yeah, I guess this was a webtoon thing before it was published, so I'm very interested to see what the story is, but I'm very excited to just look at the artwork, because even the colors are right up my alley. It just looks gorgeous, so I'm very excited to dip my toes in this one and see what it's about. Alright, woo! Finally done! And that is the entire haul for the video. It could have been its own video, and it may still be its own video. We'll see how this goes, because this was going to be a long video. But yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed. I hope you guys have enjoyed this long, chaotic video. It's been so much work, but so much fun as well. It's been a amazing process, refreshing my shelves and redecorating and sorting through and seeing all of what I had and all the possibilities for the new year. I'm super excited to play TBR Clue game. Super excited to play TBR Clue again for the first time this year and find out what I'm reading, because now, you know, I feel refreshed, I feel rejuvenized, and I'm ready to just enjoy reading again. It's gonna be fun, and I am really excited for that, so I'm really looking forward to it. Thank you guys for watching and sticking with me for this entire time, because it's been a wild roller coaster ride, and I hope you guys are looking forward to 2024. Hope you guys had a happy new year, and let's see what 2024 brings. So I hope to see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye!